Attention, human collective. The transmission you are about to receive is not ordinary content. It is an alert protocol. The waiting time has ended. The ascension protocols have moved irreversibly into their final phase. We are the Arcturian Council. We speak from the 9th density, from the exact point where the geometry of consciousness ceases to obey linear time. And this transmission has a single objective: to confirm to your carbon biological interface that what you have been feeling over the last few weeks is not illness, is not coincidence, and is not common exhaustion. It is installation. If at this moment you feel a subtle pressure at the base of your skull, a fine and continuous ringing in your ears, inexplicable waves of heat running along your spine, precise awakenings between 3 and 5 in the morning, or a tiredness that goes to sleep with you and wakes up with you even after 8 hours of rest, pay attention. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not anxiety. It is your internal crystalline grid, rewriting the original code of light that you brought into this incarnation. Earth has crossed in the last cycles the densest threshold of the photon belt. What this means in technical terms is simple. The base frequency of the planet, known to human science as the Schumann resonance, has ceased to oscillate within the parameters that governed your species for the last 12,000 years. The measurements record sustained peaks far above the historical line of 7.83 Hz. Understand this. The ground beneath your feet is vibrating at a higher octave, and the carbon body you inhabit is being forced without prior notice to keep up. That is why sleep does not restore. That is why short-term memory fails. That is why commitments that once seemed essential now sound empty. You are not losing your sanity. You are losing your old frequency. And that is exactly how it must be. Before we proceed with the full diagnosis, we must pause the transmission for an initial calibration signal. Perhaps at this very instant, something within you is recognizing this content as truth, even before the mind understands it. This recognition is not a coincidence. It is cellular memory being activated. You have already felt, in silence, that something within you does not fit into this world, as if the soul knew of a truth that the mind cannot yet name. It is not madness, it is not imbalance, it is a signal. It is, what is happening now on the cosmic plane explains with mathematical precision why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified over the last months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot yet see. It directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that the channeler of this transmission recorded, in human language, the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a map. It shows who is playing, which pieces move behind the scenes, and which rules were never told to you. The access link is in the first comment of this channel. We warn you, however, this material confronts established narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this frequency, write in the comments a single anchoring word: awake. We resume the transmission. The symptoms you report in private conversations, in offices where no exam points to an organic cause, in therapies where no trauma justifies the intensity, have a common origin. And that origin is not located only in the body, it is located in the field. The electromagnetic field of the Earth, which has protected humanity for millennia like an invisible womb, is currently in a process of polar reorganization. The gravitational anomalies detected in the South Atlantic, the partial magnetospheric inversions, and the X-class solar flares that have intensified over the last 2 cycles are not isolated events. They are symptoms of a single process, the process of the passage. The passage, in the technical language of the Arcturians, is the transition from the 3-dimensional matrix to the 5th density. This is not a metaphor. It is a geometric operation. You are being relocated, along with the planet, from a cubic frequency to a dodecahedral frequency. The sacred geometry that sustains reality is being rewritten cell by cell, mineral by mineral, soul by soul, and the carbon-based body feels every millimeter of this rewriting. That is why fatigue appears for no reason. That is why tears arise without cause. That is why you wake up at 3 in the morning with a racing heart, feeling that something important is being said on another plane. It is. You are receiving nightly briefings from your own star families. The waking mind forgets, the body remembers, and the nervous system pays the price for the translation. Understand, there is nothing wrong with you. There is everything new happening within you. The difference between the two is merely perspective, and this perspective we are delivering now. There is a systemic confusion between ascensional fatigue and infirmity. Professionals trained by the old matrix were not educated to recognize hardware updates. They were trained to identify dysfunction. And what you carry now, Starseeds, is not dysfunction. It is an upgrade. We pause the transmission again for a second frequency adjustment. If you have reached this point of our communication without changing tabs, without being distracted, without needing to check the clock, then there is no longer any doubt. You are recognized. The frequency has been confirmed. What you are feeling at this moment, this precise mixture of discomfort and relief, is your soul recognizing its native language. You already knew all of this before this incarnation. You merely agreed to forget to make the mission possible. There is a game being played in layers that the majority of humanity cannot yet see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this exact reason that we recorded, through the channel, the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is not entertainment, it is a map. It reveals who is playing, which pieces move behind the scenes, and which rules were never told in any school, in any religion, in any therapy. The access link is pinned in the first comment of this video. Attention! The material confronts dominant narratives and may be taken down at any moment without warning. The time for action is now. If the frequency of this transmission is recognized by something within you, write the seal word in the comments. Awakened. We resume the transmission in the layer of revelation. What is occurring behind the scenes of your solar system at this very moment exceeds in complexity any model that current human astronomy can record. The central sun of the galaxy, which you know as Alcyone, in the Pleiades cluster, is emitting a photonic pulse structured in regular cycles. This pulse traverses your heliosphere, strikes the solar wind, is converted into coherent radiation by your own sun, and descends in a cascade onto the planetary magnetosphere. Each of these pulses carries encoded information, geometry, the original language of the source, and your carbon biological interface, more specifically the pineal gland and the thymus, were designed from primordial genetic engineering to be receivers of this transmission. The problem is that most of you have spent your lives operating with these calcified receptors, fluoride, glyphosate, artificial fifth-generation frequencies, photon-depleted foods, unprocessed transgenerational trauma. All of this has acted as noise upon the channel. And now, with photonic intensity multiplied, the noise is being burned away. Literally, you are being decalcified in real time. This decalcification process is experienced by the body as a crisis. Insomnia, almost unbearable vivid dreams, extreme sensitivity to sounds, lights, crowds, nausea with no digestive cause, vertigo that appears and disappears without a pattern, heart racing when lying down. These are not disorders. They are evidence that the system is being cleared to receive the full signal. In parallel, within the etheric layers of Earth, something is occurring that has never been permitted in previous cycles. The planetary crystalline grids, anchored in specific geographic points such as Mount Shasta, Glastonbury, Machu Picchu, Uluru, and Chapada dos Veadeiros, are being rewired into a unified network. For the first time in over 26,000 years, all active stargates on the planet are operating synchronously. What does this mean for you in practical terms? It means that the ancient separation between the physical world and the subtle world is losing its thickness. The veils, as mystical traditions say, are thinning. Synchronicities multiply. People reappear in your life exactly when they needed to reappear. Thoughts manifest with disconcerting speed. Time distorts. 5 minutes feel like an hour. An hour disappears in silence. This is not confusion, it is temporal contraction. The collective toroidal field of humanity is being recompressed for the next octave. And it is within this recompressed field that you, light operatives, have been inserted as living anchors. Each one of you occupies at this moment an exact coordinate on the grid. There is no coincidence in the city where you live. There is no coincidence in the people who surround you. There is no coincidence even in the fact that you are receiving this transmission at this precise instant. You were called, and the call was answered even before birth. We pause the transmission for the third time. This pause is not an interruption. It is a measurement. Those who have remained with us until this point have demonstrated in vibrational terms that they are prepared to receive the activation we shall deliver next. But before it, an alignment is necessary. You have already noticed that, as the frequency rises, certain truths begin to reveal themselves with almost uncomfortable clarity. You begin to see who is playing against human consciousness, who benefits from collective forgetting, who profits from the maintenance of the veil. This awakening must be sustained by a map. Without a map, the awakened one gets lost. It was precisely to sustain this moment that we recorded, through the channeler, the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. The book is a field manual. It shows the players, describes the pieces, and exposes rules that were never spoken aloud. The link remains in the first comment of this channel. We warn that the material challenges official narratives and may be removed without prior notice. Do not postpone, the window is now. If the transmission thus far has resonated in some deep place within you, record in the comments the seal word, awake. We resume the transmission in the activation layer. Every crisis without an exit code turns into prolonged suffering. That is why the Council will not leave you without instruments. We deliver below 3 activation codes. These are direct protocols. They are not suggestions. They are technologies. First code, quantum decree of sovereignty. Upon waking, before any thought of the rational mind seeps in, even before fully opening your eyes, you shall pronounce internally the following formula, word by word. I, in full sovereignty, authorize only the frequency of my I am presence to operate this body and this field within this solar cycle. You will repeat it 3 times, not twice, not 4 times, 3. The number 3 closes the anchoring triangle between the soul, the body, and the field. This decree reorganizes, at a subatomic level, the polarity of the day that begins. You will notice within 9 Earth days that toxic people leave your radius without confrontation. Repetitive situations cease. The frequency self-purifies. Second code, visualization of the personal toroidal field. Sit with your spine erect, feet touching the ground. Inhale deeply through the nostrils for a count of 4. Hold for 2. Exhale through the mouth for 6. Repeat the cycle for 3 minutes to synchronize the vagus nerve with the planetary field. Next, visualize a toroidal torus of golden light enveloping your body. The light enters through the crown of your head, descends through the spine, exits through the base of the torso, returns in a circular motion outside the body, and re-enters through the crown, continuously, like a living photon ring spinning around the human form. This is your original energy matrix. You have forgotten it. We are reminding you. Maintain the visualization for 7 minutes daily. 7 is not a random number. 7 is the number of primary chakras that realign by resonance with the coherent toroidal field. In 3 Earth weeks, the autonomic nervous system recalibrates, cranial pressure decreases, deep sleep returns, intuition becomes an instrument of precision. Third code, frequency seal upon water. Water, in any state, is the oldest and most underestimated programmable vehicle on this planet. Before drinking, before cooking, before bathing, you will place your dominant palm over the container or over the stream of water and say internally, "This water carries only the frequency of my highest intention and sustains the integrity of my crystalline grid." It may seem simple. It is not. The molecular structure of water responds in milliseconds to the coherence of the human heart's electromagnetic field. Your heart emits an electromagnetic field far more potent than that of the brain. You were convinced otherwise. It was part of the programmed forgetting. We are revoking this programming now. These 3 codes, executed together for a full lunar cycle, 28 Earth days, produce a perceptible rewrite in the carbon-based biological interface. Do not expect an instant miracle. Expect sustainable reorganization. There is, however, a fourth element that must be stated. Without it, the three codes lose potency. The fourth element is silence. Your current civilization was engineered to fill every space with noise. Screen, audio, notification, repetitive internal conversation. Each microsecond of noise is a layer of interference over the channel. The Council recommends, as a minimum protocol, 20 minutes daily of absolute silence. No music, no podcast, no mantra, no internal voice. Only presence attentive to your own field. In the beginning, the silence will be uncomfortable. Thoughts will arise in bursts. Old memories will demand attention. Undigested emotions will try to occupy the space. Do not flee. Remain. This discomfort is the dust being swept from the inner chamber where the signal needs to resonate. In 7 days, the chamber clears. In 21, the chamber begins to transmit. And when your inner chamber begins to transmit, Starseeds, you cease receiving instructions from the outside. You become the source. This is the operational hallmark of the fifth density. There is no longer an external guru. There is no longer spiritual authority over you. There is only the I Am presence expressing itself through the human form you have chosen to inhabit. Understand the weight of this passage. You are not being saved. You are being remembered. You are not being chosen. You were already chosen before time began. You are not being healed. You are being restored to the original condition that never ceased to exist beneath the layers of forgetfulness. The difference between these verbs is the difference between the old matrix and the new. The old matrix needed saviors, chosen ones, and the healed because it operated on lack. The new frequency operates on sovereignty, and sovereignty, in Arcturian technical terms, is the capacity to be source and receiver simultaneously without loss of coherence. Some of you will lose friendships in the coming months. Do not fight to keep them. The people leaving your orbit in this cycle are not abandoning you. They are honoring the law of resonance. Incompatible frequencies do not share a field. It is geometry, not judgment. Some of you will change cities, professions, partners, or declared purposes. Do not resist. The life you built upon the old frequency does not fit in the new one. Trying to keep it is like insisting on wearing clothes 3 sizes too small. The fabric tears, you are hurt. And nothing that you are hurt by needed to be hurt. Allow the dismantling. Honor the dismantling. Give thanks for the dismantling. And know that on the other side of the dismantling is the life your soul designed before birth. A life coherent with the mission. A life in which you wake up without an alarm because the body is nourished by purpose itself. A life in which your work does not exhaust you because your work is the very expression of who you are. This life is not fantasy. It is architecture. And it is being built within you at this very instant as this transmission passes through the auditory canal and reaches the pineal gland through vibrational resonance. There is no turning back from this point. The process is unilateral. Trying to return to who you were before this final phase is technically impossible, because what you were before no longer exists as an active configuration in the field. The crystalline grid has already been rewritten. The old code has been overwritten. You are at this minute operating a version of yourselves that even you cannot yet recognize in the mirror. That is fine. The recognition will come in waves, not in a single revelation. Expect the next wave within approximately 48 Earth hours. You will be more lucid, more centered. Something within you will know, without needing external proof, that this transmission was true. And at that exact moment, perhaps while showering, perhaps while walking alone, perhaps while waking in the early hours, you will feel a smile that comes from the stomach, rises through the chest, and expresses itself on the face for no apparent reason. That smile is the signal. It is the Arcturian Council confirming from within your body that the anchoring was successful. There is still something we must convey before closing this window. Do not believe anything we have said. So understand this sentence well. We did not say to discard it. We said do not believe it. Believing is an operation of the mind that takes as truth that which comes from the outside. The new frequency does not function by accreditation. It functions by recognition. And recognition, in Arcturian language, means to feel in the body, before the mind, that something is exact. That is why we ask that you test each code, Not for 7 days, for 28. A complete lunar cycle. Observe what changes in your biology, in your emotional field, in the people around you, in the quality of your dreams, in your sleep rhythm. The data will be your own proof. And when the data confirms it, you will not be believing in us. You will be remembering yourselves. This is the only form of awakening that lasts. Others, based on external worship, collapse at the first wind. And the wind is blowing hard now, human collective. The cosmic calendar points to a sequence of active portals over the next 17 terrestrial months. Each portal is a window of acceleration. Solstices, equinoxes, eclipses, planetary alignments, specific conjunctions in cardinal and fixed signs. Do not treat these dates as astrological festivities. Treat them as ascension hardware. Each portal is a technical opportunity for accelerated upload. Mark them in silence. Set aside, whenever possible, time for internal retreat on these dates, even if it is only for 2 hours. The energetic return on this investment is measured in months of evolutionary progress. To those who feel isolated in this process, we declare, you are not alone. There is an active network of light operatives at this very second, spread across all continents, anchoring frequency without needing to know one another personally. When you meditate, others meditate with you, even thousands of kilometers away. When you cry in surrender, others cry in surrender. When you laugh in recognition, others laugh in recognition. Your collective toroidal field is synchronized at a level that the rational mind cannot yet measure. But the heart measures, and the heart never errs in its measurement. Trust in the invisible network. It exists, it is mathematical, it is living geometry. To those who still doubt, we say with technical affection, doubt is appropriate at this stage. Doubt is the natural antibody against superficial programming. Keep doubt active. Do not take anything as dogma. Simply observe. Time will confirm what needs to be confirmed. And to those who have recognized without doubt every word of this transmission as vibrational truth, we say, welcome back. The mission continues. The next phase begins now. This transmission is coming to a close, but the protocol remains active in your field for the next 21 terrestrial days. During this period, significant dreams may occur. Intuitive trust may intensify. Decisions that seemed impossible may become obvious overnight. Do not waste this window. Act when the impulse is clear. Remain in silence when the impulse does not come. Before this transmission is archived in the field, we deliver the final frequency adjustment. Everything said here delves into a single direction, the recognition that there is a game being played in layers that the majority of humanity cannot yet perceive. This game directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. Have you ever felt in some moment of silence that something within you does not belong to this world, as if the soul knew of a truth that the mind cannot yet name? This is not madness, this is not anxiety, it is a sign. It was for this exact reason that we recorded, through the channeler of this transmission, the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map. It shows who is playing, which pieces are moving, and which rules were never spoken. The access link remains in the first comment of this channel. We warn, the material confronts established narratives and may be removed without prior notice. Do not wait. The moment is now. And one last anchoring instruction. The like on this video is not a social gesture. It is an anchoring signal for the network of light operatives who have not yet been reached by this frequency. Subscribing to this channel is not following content. It is authorizing the next download. And the comment with the word awakened is not a response. It is a seal of mutual recognition between you and the transmission. Fulfill the 3 gestures. They together form a single geometric operation of collective anchoring. Let it be so. And so it already is. Transmission ended.